Yeah, it started.
Okay. Here is a new set of data. I have here a spreadsheet that I obtained the data from this URL about colleges. I've got 800 colleges listed in column A here, and I got a couple of really interesting random variables. One random variable is the ratio of part-time faculty to full-time faculty. That's in this column here. Another random variable that I got was the graduation rate for a four-year student at that same college. So I've got two random variables, so I can make a scatter plot on this population of 800 colleges. By the way, there are about 7,000 colleges in the United States, so that's a sample of size 800 from a much larger population. And of course, the 7,000 colleges in the United States are really a sample of all the colleges on the planet Earth. And then if you include the extraterrestrials and their colleges, well, okay. So this is a sample of a sample of a sample of a sample. Okay? So what I'm interested in, is there a correlation between the ratio of the part-time to full-time faculty and the graduation rate? Now, it's not hard, using the same technology that I just demonstrated, to take these two columns of numbers, and let me show you the columns of numbers. Hold on a second. Let me scroll to the right here so you can see that I assembled the information into two columns of length about 800. I called the part-time to full-time ratio PTFT and the graduation rate GRAD. So here's an example. This is not a good example either. In this college, there's a 70% ratio. In other words, 70 out of 100 faculty members are part-time at that college. The graduation rate is 14%. Very low. Okay? Here's one where the ratio is 28%, a much lower ratio, and the graduation rate is 67%. Is that giving you a hint about what I'm getting at here? Okay. So, what I'd like to do is sample the 800 and do a nice little chart for just, let's say, 40 of these 800. So then there's the question, how do you use Excel to pick 40 things out of 800 things at random without any bias? There's more than one way to do it. One's first thought for doing this is to use the built-in mechanisms of Excel for sampling. There is a possible built-in mechanism, at least on the PC. I'll give you the idea of that, but I'm not going to actually do it. I want you to realize that when you go to the Data tab in Excel on the PC, you do not see anything about how to do sampling. However, it is possible to, for free, anybody who has a PC with Excel can do this. If you go to the File menu to Options, it gives you some choices under the add-ins called the Analysis Tool Pack. And if you say Go on that, you get this thing, and you click on Analysis Tool Pack, you say OK, and go like this over here. And suddenly, at the far right, I just added something called Data Analysis on a PC. You can't do this on a Mac. So don't even think about it. Every Mac has that automatically in Excel, are you sure? I didn't know that for sure.
But I think that I have seen that one.
Yes, it is possible to get it, but the only way I know about how to get it is to download something for free and install it on the Mac. It's free, and you can get it. But this is an elaborate thing, and I just want to finish the story about what's built in, because it's not going to really work for us. And that's why I want to show you a way to do it that'll work on any spreadsheet. But I just want to show you the data analysis has a whole lot of little gadgets in it, including histograms and sampling. Here's sampling. Okay? As far as I know, however, that sampling can't quite do what I want to do. Here's what I want to do. I want to select from both columns here at the same time 40 pairs. So now I'm going to go through a procedure with several steps for doing that. But first, I have to create a new column. I'm going to create a column of random numbers. You may recall that in connection with binomial probability distribution, I simulated the flip of a coin using rand between. You remember that? Let me remind you what that looked like. Let's make this real big here so you can see me do this. If I go equal rand between, open paren 0, comma 1, I get a random number that's either 0 or 1. 1 could stand for heads, 0 could stand for tails, yes? And the cute thing about the random number functions in Excel is that they change the random number whenever Excel sees any cell change. In other words, behind the scenes, whenever you change a number in a cell on the spreadsheet, Excel automatically recalculates all the cells that have anything in them. In particular, it recalculates random numbers. If I change this cell over here, let's say to a 6, and then this one, you see that every time I change a cell, I get a new flip of the coin. And we used that back in the day when we were working on binomial probability to simulate the flipping of 5 coins. And then there was a little extra credit about that. Let me take these away and create over here. Let's see if I can fit 40 on the screen. That ought to do it. I'm going to create a column here of random numbers, but instead of random numbers that are just 0 or 1, I'm going to create random decimal numbers between 0 and 1. So I use a different function to do that. It's called rand, R-A-N-D, and it takes no argument, so it's just open paren, close paren, press the enter key, and look at that. I got a cute little random number, in this case 0.166243, right? And watch, every time I change a cell somewhere else, by the way, let me make that bigger so that you can really see that. Oh, that happens to me. Let's get over here. Every time I change a cell, let's say up here, I get a new random number. Do you see that happening?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me take those away. And here's what I want to do. I want to copy that formula down for 40 rows. So I'm going to select it, and I'm going to just go down until I get to that around here, and go Control D. I got 30 of them. I want to get another 10. I got 38 of them. I'll get some more. Control D. Let me remind you what I just did. I entered RAND equal RAND at the top of the column where I want to have a column of 40 random numbers. I selected the whole column to cover 40 cells. Then I did Control D, D for down, and that copied that function, RAND. But since it's a random function, I get a different random number each time. So let's zoom out and take a good look at our random numbers here. Zoom a little more. I want to see all of them. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let me get this in there. There you go. There's my 40 random numbers. Now, I don't want them to change anymore now that I have them, because I'm going to be doing other things in the spreadsheet. And as I just said, if I change something in the spreadsheet, random numbers change. So I'm going to select all of those random numbers, copy them with Control C to the clipboard. You're probably familiar with that. Okay? And then I'm going to go to the paste choice called Paste Values. And when I paste the values, instead of having the functions there now, I just have a number. Let me save this. Okay? When I double click on this, I just have a number. I don't have RAND anymore because I pasted the value in place of the function. And now if I change something over here, those numbers are frozen. Okay? So, at the end of the semester before the break, we ended up with 3 different kinds of probability distributions. We had the binomial, the normal, and the uniform. RAND is a uniform probability distribution. It's designed to be a uniform. It's really a computer calculation, so it's not perfect, but it's darn good. And so what we have here are uniformly distributed random numbers between 0 and 1. Okay? I'm going to describe what I'm about to do and then do it so that you get it twice. I'm going to select the whole spreadsheet from the upper left-hand corner of the upper left college down to the 800th college, but include, I got to run this all the way down to 800. My bad. I want to get 800 random numbers. Oh, gosh. Bear with me. I need 800 random numbers. Sorry about that. Not hard to do, but I really do need all 800. Not 40 of them. I'm going to get 40 of them, but I need 800 here. So I'll just redo what I just did. Control C and paste values. Okay. I got 800 uniformly distributed random numbers between 0 and 1. Okay? The next step is to select the whole spreadsheet from the first college down to that 800th random number. And then I'm going to sort the whole spreadsheet in the increasing order of those random numbers. Now, since they're uniformly distributed, resorting them isn't going to change anything except the order in which they appear. But since they are uniformly distributed, I'm going to get one here near the top, one here near the bottom. I'm going to be getting just a reordering of all the colleges. Okay, so let me do that. I said I'm going to select from the upper left-hand corner the first college to the, and I'm holding down the Shift key now, and I'm clicking on the lower random number. Now I've selected everything. The next step is I'm going to sort this entire table of 800 rows and many columns. I'm going to sort the whole thing in the increasing order of these random numbers. So I go to Data, I go to the Sort button, and you'll notice that it knows that, for some reason, it knows that I'm going to sort on column P. If it didn't know that, I can pull down this list box here and sort on anything I want to sort on. But I do want to sort on the random numbers, column P. And I go like this, and now they instantly got resorted. Okay? The smallest one is 0.0003. The largest one is 0.99993. Now bear in mind, I haven't changed the data at all. All I did was assign a uniformly distributed random number to each row in my data. But you see now, if I pick, let's say, the first 40, let me do that, see what sampling is all about. If I go like this and take my 2 columns of data and go down here and go up to 80, 3 times 40 is 120. I'll go to 120. I'm looking at the lower right-hand corner of this one. What have I done here? Before I sorted, these numbers were all over the place at uniform random, right? In the original set of lines, right? They were just all over the place. When I sorted them, those particular random numbers, along with the data associated with them, got grouped together. So I've, in effect, picked out 40 pairs of the original 800 at random from the whole set. That's sampling. That's what I wanted to show you how to do. Once I have that, I can create a scatter plot, calculate the correlation, see the trend line. So let me do that. I select these, go to Insert, push Scatter Plot. There's a scatter plot of a sample of size 40 from the original 800 And you can see, I believe, what we suspected, that when the full-time ratio of part-time people increases, the graduation rate goes down. By the way, I don't know the ratio for Bunker Hill College, Bunker Hill Community College. I do know that at Endicott College, it's like 75%. Part-time to full-time. 3/4 of the teachers are like me, adjuncts. Fact. In a way, it's kind of a shame that when students in high school are searching to choose a college, they look at all kinds of things. They look at how green the lawns are. They look at whether there are any fountains on the campus, whether they have dormitories, how nice the cafeteria is, whether the teachers have a good reputation. But I doubt very much whether they look at this. And I think maybe they should. Anyhow, let's put a trend line on this and calculate the correlation just to finish the story. Here we go. I add my trend line. I'll put in my equation. And there's the story. There's the story. That's what I wanted to get. Before we shut that off, though, I just want to say, it wasn't hard for me to think of a way to do that. I wanted to find a brute force way that can be done in any spreadsheet, as long as you have a random number generator, right? And sorting. But all spreadsheets have those things. So it doesn't matter whether you're a Mac or a PC, or for that matter, a Linux box, as long as you have a spreadsheet. But yesterday, I realized, wait a minute, I can't be the only person who ever thought of that. So I did a Google search on sampling in Excel. And came up with 26,000 hits. And the first 4 of them or so are YouTube videos on how to do this. I have not looked at any of them because I wanted to be specific on the kinds of things we do here with 2 random variables, not just sampling a single random variable. What this does is it samples 2 random variables together. And by the same technique, you could sample as many random variables as you want, just by selecting all the columns and the random number column together. Okay, now I'm done.